Hi, everyone, and welcome to the show. This is your host and your coach, Dr. Mary Ayers, and I'm excited about today's topic. We're going to learn to play a better what-if game. Now, why better is because our typical conversation, if you really think about this, is we tend to make statements, or maybe it's just thoughts, where we are wondering what's going to happen. We're always projecting what is going to happen, and that's the way we frame that is very often in this idea of what if. What if blank happens? What if they say this? What if they turn me down? What if they reject me? What if I feel abandoned? What if? So you see what I'm doing here. It's this idea that when we are looking at the world and we are trying to figure out what actions we should do, a lot of the times we are playing a what-if game that's pretty horrific. We are looking at the anticipation of the pain, of humiliation, of embarrassment, of being scared, of being overwhelmed, of feeling small, feeling incapable, feeling overwhelmed. I mean, all of the negatives, as we like to say it, that our mind has already made pictures of, and it's starting to think, oh my gosh, what if that happened? And then we're making these projections. We're saying, well, if that happened, I would feel this way. Our mind says, I don't want to feel that way. I took a vow that I would never do anything that would make me feel that way. And so I'm going to avoid this behavior. So think about this. When you think about procrastination, let's just take something that we've all had to play with at some point in our lives. Something as simple as procrastination is when we think about what would happen if we were to do this, if we were to get that report done, if we were to get our taxes done. There's a what-if statement that will have some kind of a result, an end product, that will result in a feeling we don't want to have. I'm going to feel terrible. If I finally make that phone call, they're going to reject me. If I finally put my gift out there, if I get my website done, if I do that and nobody comes, nobody buys my services, nobody listens to what I'm putting out there, then I'm going to feel like a failure. It's going to feel like I put my heart out on the line and somebody tromped on it. If I go out this evening with my girlfriends and nobody picks up on me, I'm going to feel like unwanted. If. So you can feel this way that we live in this playing what-if game, that we're trying to say, if I do something, the world's going to show up this way. So where do we get those? Right? One of the things we talk about is this is great to have an awareness, an understanding of why I do these things. But one of the things that's really cool about the tapping, and this is why we work at it a little differently than just having an awareness. I've been a licensed therapist for 27 years, and a good half of that time I did just insight therapy, understanding. I really was a solution-focused therapist, which probably doesn't mean a lot to most people. For me, it meant that we were looking at what they were doing that was working in spite of the whatever block they had. There was still a time where they were doing something that was working, and so we amplified those times. We looked for them, we put them under the spotlight, and then we found out what strategies. Now, I still love it, and I still use it. I use it within my coaching practice, but there was always something else that was happening, and that was I knew that people were getting insight. I knew they knew why they were doing some things, what had happened in their past that was informing them, the way they were raised, the embarrassments that they felt, abuses that they had, a critical parent, a parent who they wanted their approval. All kinds of insights were had in our process as we were talking. Right? That's what insight therapy is we have this aha moment where we get it. And what I was finding is even when people were getting it and you thought to yourself, man, we're making great strides here, they would still get emotionally hijacked. And that is, we all know because I talk about it all the time, is regardless of what you know, that completely gets canceled out. Your body is overtaken in a fight or flight response. And most of the time, most of us recognize it because we were thinking to ourselves, how can I get out of here and hide and get under the radar so nobody can see me so I can feel safe response. Sometimes it comes out in anger, but anger is much less of a response, tends to be a little bit more of a masculine response. But, and again, I'm not judging that. We're just saying that we go to that fight or flight place when we anticipate something. And it's because our body is overridden our common sense. Our body overrides our reasoning. So even though you may know better, that doesn't stop your body from saying, there's a threat to me, I'm afraid, I'm being attacked, I'm going to be stranded, I'm going to be excommunicated, I'm going to be on my own, and hence I will die. All right? And as simple as it can get, the mind registers it as there is a threat to my survival, and so I need to protect myself. So we know that there are probably experiences in your past that are informing your decisions now. That's what the what if game has been so far, is if I do this, what could happen? Well, where does your brain got to go in order to be able to measure what's the possibility of happening? It's got to go and Google the past. That's what it does. It's like a huge Google system that says, well, what happened last time? What's the potential for me? And it's going to use the material it has. So it's looking in the past for, well, what happened the last time? What could happen the last time? What could happen this time? And so we're using our past to predict the future. And when we tap on those past events, we collapse them. The mind is no longer seeing that as a potential threat, and so it gives us the freedom to be able to take actions that before, when we still had all of those traumas, we couldn't take. So in other words, when I say to myself now in the future, what could happen, and my Google goes back to what happened in the past that's unresolved, that was traumatic, it finds fewer and fewer. And the ones that are there are at a lower number. They're not the huge traumas. And so then it starts making an assessment that the odds are in my favor, right? We've got that wonderful Hunger Games. The odds are forever in my favor that the more I collapse some of these old events that were very painful, that my mind now is not using them as predictors of an equally painful future. So now it says, well, yeah, there were a few things. I lived through them. Maybe they're not the big tens because I've collapsed those. Might still have some intrepidation, but I'm a little bit more open to it. I'm open to exploring how I might do that. So that's why with tapping, when we combine taking action and doing more things with taking that step forward, see what comes up. What is the memory? What is the what if this happens? When did that happen in the past? Can I go back and collapse that so that now I can take that one step forward? So we're going to do some tapping around this old what if game. Now, I'm not able to go to your specific event. So like all of these tappings and all of the shows that I do, or any other place that you're tapping, when we are doing these tapping, they're fairly global is what we call them. We say that they're not specific. They're not your particular event, what happened to you, who said what. And so what you do in order to customize them for you is, you know what the topic is, what if. So now you think to yourself, what is it I'm thinking of doing? Could be taxes, could be going out, it could be putting something on Match.com, it could be getting a new job. I want you to throw out some of these what ifs. What if I quit my job and I can't find another one? What if I don't get a job that resonates with me? What if I put myself out there on Match.com and I don't get any calls? What if I go to my boss and say I want a promotion and they say no? What if I put my website out there? I launch my own business, this thing that it sings to me, it's my purpose, and it flubs, it fails, and I never make any money. You can already hear that sense of doom and, oh my gosh, I would never be able to live, I couldn't survive. So I want you to take yours. What is your what if that is right now scaring you? And we're going to take that, I want you to hold that. We're going to measure it for yourself, 0 to 10. When you look at your statement, 0 to 10, how much feeling, how much charge comes out. And I'm going to probably anticipate it's probably more of an anxious feeling because you're anticipating doing something, and when you look back, whether it's I could be rejected, there's still an anxiety, right? You may call it I could be rejected, but the feeling is probably one of fear. Just measure it 0 to 10. Right? We're going to do some very global tapping, and that's okay. You've already got your idea in your mind. And so we're going to start on the karate chop. Even though I'm afraid to take this action, because I have so many what ifs, I'm scaring myself just with the thought of it. There's no way I'm going to do this. Because what if I do, and I feel like this? And that's okay. I'm accepting myself right where I am right now. Even though I'm surprised, because a part of me wants to take this action. A part of me knows it's time. But what if it all falls apart? What if I get rejected? What if I get shamed? What if I fail? All these what ifs. And that's okay. I may allow myself to dream no matter what, knowing I'm taking the actions to create a new and better future. Even though I have this huge what if, and all I can see is the horrific effects of taking this action, of making this decision. It would be horrible. And even though I have this fear and apprehension, I'm choosing to accept all of me now. And let's go to the eyebrow. I can't do it. Side of the eye, because I already know what will happen. Under the eye, I can already feel it. Under the nose, I can already see it. On the chin, and it's not good. Collarbone, no way am I doing that. Under the arm, because I'm certain of what will happen. Top of the head, I have evidence that that could happen. Eyebrow, I'm remembering the time when that did happen. Side of the eye, the humiliation. Underneath the eye, the judgment. Under the nose, the rejection. Collarbone, the failure. Collarbone, why would I do that again? Under the arm, I have a history that tells me, top of the head, that I better play it safe. Back at the eyebrow, but I wonder if it's possible. Side of the eye, that I could have a different outcome. Under the eye, because what if it was true? Under the nose, that the past didn't equal the future. On the chin, what if it was true? On the collarbone, that I am the creator. Under the arm, what if it was true? Top of the head, that it was possible to create something different. back at the eye, and all I needed to do, side of the eye, was be open to a new what if. Under the eye, I didn't know I could change my what if. Under the nose, but now that I know it, on the chin, I'm pretty curious. Collarbone, what if I can? Underneath the arm, what if I can? Top of the head, I'm deciding I can. Now take a breath. Now think about that thing that you weren't going to do. You just knew the outcome of it. And I just want you to think about it now and see what's different. That doesn't mean you're jumping up and down going, yes, I'm going to do it. What I want you to feel for is softening. Does it feel like there's more possibility for you to consider it? That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for softening. Not, yes, I'm going to do it right here, right now, but the possibility of it. Because when we open up a space for possibility, then that is the first step on being able to start doing something different. So I have a list of wonderful what ifs, and we're going to do a round on just new what ifs, because there's nothing wrong with what ifs. It's what we put after it that we want to change. So we're just going to go around through the points, starting at the eyebrow, and just repeat after me. What if it was possible? Side of the eye. What if it was already happening? Under the eye. What if it was easier than I thought? Under the nose. What if it was fun? On the chin. What if I was good at it? On the collarbone. What if it's just the way it is? Under the arm. What if it was easy? Top of the head. What if it was getting easier? Back at the eyebrow. What if it's already started to happen? Side of the eye. What if I did let it go? Under the eye. What if I've always been enough? Under the nose. What if it was safe to change this? On the chin. What if I was giving myself permission to make this change? Under the arm. What if life was on my side? Top of the head. What if life loved me? Eyebrow. What if I was lovable? Side of the eye. What if I was valuable? Under the eye. What if I did deserve it? Under the nose. What if I was accepting my value? On the chin. What if I believed it was possible? Collarbone. What if I was changing this belief? Under the arm. What if it's safe to be me? Top of the head. What if I'm enough and it's possible now? Take a breath. Imagine playing a new what-if game where we actually stepped into the idea of what we wanted instead of reinforcing and sitting in that space of all the potential dangers, all the catastrophic things that could happen. And every time we're doing that, we're lighting our body up. We're sending it the message that, by God, if it feels this way when we think about it, why would you ever want to do it? We want to change that. And it's not because it's not true. There have been things in the past, and we do want to be cautious of some things. And we're not trying to be so Pollyanny that we're just going to go walk off a cliff and think, well, what if gravity wasn't real? And you go walking off a cliff and we go, yes, it is. There's reality to that. But also, what if there are possibilities? We're not trying to say that you can do something. We're introducing this with this new what if game of the possibility that I could figure it out, that I am smart enough to do it, that I am valuable enough to do it, that I'm capable of doing it, that it could be fun to do it, that it would be okay if it's easy to do it. That's what we're entertaining into this. We're entertaining a new way, and to allow ourselves just freedom. And of course, we have to do both sides of it, right? You have to do a little bit of tapping about the fears. We do deeper tapping about things that are really getting in our way so that we can allow ourselves to play a different game of what if. And the more we do that, the more we allow ourselves to go back in and retire some of those old memories that said, what happened last time, it gives us more and more freedom to play in a different way. And that's what we want to do. So I've got a new program out called Moving from Fear to Action, when you're ready to say yes. And I want to tell you a little bit about my program because it's really extensive. We get really thoroughly into those beliefs and the rules you have that have been holding you back. We look at where they began. We really dig through them and help to shift them by going back and looking at those old events and helping to release those. But on top of it, we're also putting down new beliefs. And I am not the coach who says, let's go in and do it no matter what. Be afraid and we're going to push yourself through it. I love it. I'm the feel the fear and do it anyway coach. Meaning, we're going to do it in a way that feels so comfortable that you can take that step. Taking that step is the most natural thing in the world for you. If you're interested and you're ready to say yes, but you also know that you have a lot of fears, that's okay. Feel free to contact me. We'll talk about it. I'll give you more information about the program. You can see if it's right for you. I know you're going to be scared. That's okay. I anticipate it, but I've got lots of tools that help you make it that move forward the easiest thing possible. So email me if you're ready at mary@tapintoaction.com, and I got your back. So until next time, start playing a new what if game because you're worth it.